Okay, we're going to break down this lost castle section by section, ring by ring. I'm Kyle, and on this channel we've been chasing the Hibagon, the Japanese Bigfoot, and been shadowed by him. We think we've been close 3 times, and each time at the Hibagon's discretion. We've been discovering and decoding ancient megaliths and finding castles lost for over 1,300 years. What are they doing with our megalith? I'm sorry, I've decided to keep that for... We'll deal with that soon. When we get up to the second ring. I want to stick with the castle for now and not run off scatterbrained in all directions as I tend to want to do and do. We need some more discipline in this organization. So on Sunday, I took 2 junior high school girls, Kome and Chiuna, and we explored and photographed the whole third ring, or San no Maru, including, for the first time ever, the area above this farmer's field. So in this video today, we're looking at the third ring, the bottom ring of defense, section by section. Well, today, the east section. That will be today. Just the east section. I'd never been up there before. You will see things that very few people have seen in the last 13 centuries, and possibly nobody now living. Before we get to that, the age of the castle has to be revised. Now, Wikipedia quotes imperial court documents saying that the castle was finished or completed in 719, AD 719. I thought this meant that construction was completed in 719. That's how my Japanese friends were reading it too, but this is old-timey Japanese, and it turns out that the correct reading is decommissioned. Decommissioned. The castle was finished. They were finished with it. They were done with it. The castle was closed in 719. It was abandoned. So when was it built? Well, it's the Korean-type mountain castle design brought over here by Shihi Fukubu, Korean general and ally of Japan. So I looked him up, and he was busy building castles all around here back in the 660s. So I think that's how old it is. Okay, that's a revision. And a nice little armchair discovery. Those rectangular beds up there, 180 centimeters by 30 centimeters. 180 is a multiple of 30. So on a hunch, I hopped on my bicycle and rode around measuring temple gates. Temple gates being built on castle gate design. They just copy castle gate design. I found multiples of 30 everywhere and a lot of 180s. Well, it turns out that the ancient Chinese system of measurements, and that is very, very ancient, that goes back like 2500 BC. The Japanese imported that system and made it the base of their ancient architecture. Now, the basic unit is called in Japanese the shaku. That's 30 centimeters. The next unit up is the ken. That's 180 centimeters. The next one up from there is the jo. That's 3 meters. The shaku is made up of 10 sun. It's divided into 10 sun. Our rectangular beds up there are 6 centimeters deep, so that is in ancient terms 2 sun. The rectangular beds carved into the rock are 1 shaku by 1 ken by 2 sun precisely. Yeah. As we go around this third ring, me and the girls are measuring things and finding again and again everything is built to ancient Chinese, Japanese measurements. Okay, last note. I'm not above trespassing, you know me, but we aren't trespassing. There's the gate of a Shinto shrine down there and a trail going up. So we followed it. It goes up, above, and around the farmer's field. Took us right up into the castle. It did not take us to any shrine. Now that was odd. But I have an idea about that. I'll get to that another day. Now, let's go explore above that field. All right, this is a wonderful find. So now we are on top of the farmer's field, above the field, and we find a shaped slope here, basically a low wall, or the base of a wall. On top it is flat. That's a kuruwa fighting platform. So if you imagine on top of this wall, this earth bank, a palisade of branches, bamboo, wicker, whatever, wrapped up, whatever will stop an arrow. And the defenders are inside there. Just behind it is an identical wall and an identical flat fighting platform. And behind that, above it, I can see a third. So we have a 1, 2, 3 step tiered set of fighting platforms. It's perfect. And it's absolutely military castle architecture. Okay, we've just made a very good find. This base, the lower base of the first fighting platform, is all earth. We found one stone, but not enough to really prove that there used to be a stone wall here. But if we get closer, on the second tier, there is remaining stone wall. Right, we are looking at the second tier wall.
the remains of the stone wall. It was a little hard to get up here, and that's why the farmers have not come and recycled these stones. Absolutely stone wall, over 1,300 years old. Lost and found. We're further along the second tier and we've found more section of stone wall. Fantastic. This wall is about 1 meter high. We're going to measure it later. And we've found about 20-30 meters section here. Wow. Higher here, about 2 meters tall here. The wall continues right to the end, right to the corner. We're a little scared to continue because the trail here slopes toward a very steep drop. That could make for a bad day. So we're going to stop here and see if we can get up to the third tier. We're up on the third tier. And yes, more remnants of stone wall. And a fourth tier is above us. We are walking lengthwise along the fourth platform, back toward the center, to see if there's an easy way down. And, well, because it's a castle, no, there is not. But instead, we find a vertical moat. This is the head of the vertical moat, which protects us on this western flank. The vertical moat goes all the way down. It's a barrier to any enemy approaching these fighting platforms from the west. There's the head. And it seems to, this seems to be the road that the defenders could take back up. Yes, this is the road. Now, just a moment. We are standing. Call me, I know where we are. We are standing on last week's Ishigaki. We're standing on it. Well, I'll be. Okay, we've just been stymied by this vertical moat, this tatebori. We thought we would take a easy exit out this way laterally rather than tumble down each tier. But the vertical moat is preventing us. It's doing its job after 1,350 years.
My goodness. A practical lesson in vertical moats.
A few moments later.
All right, this is diabolically clever. We are on top of the farmer's field where the trail splits. Down that way, that's where we found the bottom of the four-tiered Kudua system. If you turn left here, it looks like a trail. So you might just decide to take this trail, thinking that this is the way up to the castle. Well, you are in the surprise of your short remaining lifetime, because now you're in the Tatebori. And on the right, that's where we just came down, that four-tiered Kudua. And on the left, another set of tiered Kudua. So if you continue, if you double down and give a banzai charge, it only gets worse for you. It only gets worse because the sides get higher and you become more and more trapped. Here's stone wall lining this side. Traces here. And if we just continue a little farther up, this is the stone wall that Mrs. K found last week. We were looking at it from this side, from across the vertical moat. We didn't go over last week and find that tiered Kudua system. Okay, we are understanding more and more.
On the way home, we met this gentleman, Mr. Habara. Mr. Habara remembered me from last year. I was telling him about the megalith I found up there. He said I might be interested to know that there are legends of a castle up there, and personally he believes them. Oh, please tell me more, I said. He says, well, I dig up castle stones out of my field all the time. Look, I'll show you. He takes out his phone and shows me. How big are these, I ask. No, wait. Let me guess. Was it 180 centimeters long? Yes, it was, says Mr. Habara. By 30 centimeters wide? Yes, it was. The eyes on my junior high school girls were open pretty wide, I'll tell you. Okay, next time, the central section, including the water moat, shaped slopes, high wall, and the first vertical moat.